Hello and welcome to Guitarist TV. My name is Jason JROCK Houston. We got two of our great friends from the band Held Hostage. We got lead singer and lead guitarist Tom Collier. Now, Tom, me and Scott, before you came on, we were chatting, as I said, and we were joking with you that you're kind of the John Fogerty of the band, and that you were the lead singer and the lead guitar player and the one of the main songwriters. Sir. So you're the John Fogerty guy that can kind of do it all.
Yeah, I try. I just like to have fun, but yeah, I'm
And
trying
we
to get
got
the right
we got
one.
another guitar player, rhythm guitarist, Scott Gregg, and we talked about this before, but Scott was sharing me that you and him known each other many years. You guys kind of grew up together, and so I guess right away you guys must have that special kind of bond or chemistry.
Yeah, we don't like to admit it, but yeah, I've known him my whole life.
Yeah,
We've been good friends, went to
I
school.
didn't know he was going to bring this up on the air. No.
yeah,
You told him, Scott.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's as I shared with Scott, Tom, before you came on there, I think a lot of people love Held Hostage, not just because the music good, but you guys are such an authentic band. I mean, it's rootsy kind of rock. It's not like somebody goes on American Idol and we're going to create your sound. We're going to have somebody come in and write the songs. You guys write your own music, and as we were kind of discussing, you could probably put a cool cover on the album. You don't really need to because you're such a great songwriter.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I mean, we really just, the music is authentic. We really feel like we found our own sound. We had a producer at one time, but we fired him,
Yeah.
unfortunately, because the band didn't sound the same. Scott and I both agreed. We listened to it. Great producer, great job he did, but I went back in and produced it myself. I just said, it does not sound like Held Hostage.
And I think some bands maybe need an outside producer depending on the band. I mean, a great example is that is Alice Cooper. He's been working with Bob Ezrin for years, a legendary producer. And I dare say that Ezrin kind of gave Alice his sound because if you know anything about Alice Cooper, like
yeah.
listen to first two Alice Cooper albums, like Pretty's for You and Easy Action. They almost sound like a psychedelic band, but by the third album, Love It to Death, that's the first thing he does with Ezrin, and it's almost like that's where Alice Cooper found his sound.
Absolutely. And so I've always just had a special vision for the band since I started it, the sound that I wanted. And Scott and my guitars, I mean, he's got a different setup than I do, but our guitars together, we create a unique sound. And even live, people will tell you, what do you think, Scott, right?
Oh, and that's been one of the things right from the beginning since I've been part of the band.
Yeah.
Is that was important to me, is that we had our own sound, and this band has it. Tom, I've known Tom and listened to him for years, always had a unique sound, and I was able to come in and my setup, and it was also different, just enough different, but man, do they just blend so well.
So let me ask you guys about being a guitar team. Do you have a lot of the same influences? Do you kind of like do a double guitar thing like on stage, or Scott was kind of explaining he's a rhythm player. So when you're on stage, how do you guys go about splitting up the guitar parts?
We kind of feel each other out. We know we anticipate each other. And actually, like the last show, we had Scott ripping some leads for us, right, Scott?
Yeah, it was just a fun jam we did, and it was great. My influence, basically, in that blues feel, something like that, which is the foundation of everything that we do. It comes from the blues, and we just pick it up, and it was just so much fun, and so it's just something like that we did.
Yeah, and I'm like a Pat Nugent and Randy Rhoads influence guy, even a little Angus Young. So I mean, it all works together really good. But I think on the new album, Scott and I are gonna be doing some dual leads. He doesn't know that yet, but he's going to.
Yeah, and talking about the fact that you produce your own stuff, which to you is a lot better. And I'd imagine too, maybe if you have an outside producer come in and he tries to, like, I'm going to change the sound of Held Hostage too much, that's definitely something you don't want, because that's kind of going to turn off the fans. Oh, wow, the last two albums were really great, but this isn't the Held Hostage I know.
Yeah, we love that raw, powerful sound. And that's why we had a producer. It just didn't work out. Great guy, great producer. I mean, Scott and I, but the whole band sound changed. My guitars, I said, this isn't us.
Yeah.
I went back and stripped everything down and we redid it.
And the funny thing is, I got put you guys right up there with a band like Def Leppard, in the sense that not only do you put out great records, but the fact is that, like, even at this point, I followed you like since the last two albums, and that Epic album was a monster album, and it's kind of like your Pyromania, people telling you, okay, how the hell are you going to follow that up? And then you deliver the rockin' goods with this, I mean, and then so you got two great albums under your belt, and I'm like, okay, the last two albums they really did deliver the goods. I'm kind of confident as a fan that that the next album is going to be at least as good, if probably not better.
I think it's going to be better. It's called Rescue Me, Held Hostage, Rescue Me.
Uh-huh.
We're coming out, we're kicking ass, man. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be some great songs,
Yeah.
some ballads, and there's some in-your-face stuff. And I mean, they're just really cool, straight-ahead rock. It's Held Hostage.
Yeah.
Like epic and great American rock on steroids.
Yeah, which is, as Scott and I were kind of talking before the interview we're doing, we were talking about like back in the day when we were all growing up, some of our favorite bands like Kiss and Aerosmith. So some of those bands would put out like an album or two a year, and I think Held Hostage is it can be lumped in with that because not necessarily put out two albums, but I think fans are getting to a point where they're giving us some new music every single year, 1 to 2 years, and so you're not keeping us waiting like Guns N' Roses for 18 years or whatever it is.
Right. No, we've got plans. I mean, our new album's going to come out. We're doing some live stuff. Plus, our record company just informed us they're going to do a special vinyl release. It's going to be a combination of the best songs off Epic and the best songs off Great American Rock. It's going to be the best of to date. Okay.
So that's pretty cool too. Now, let me ask you, Tom. I mean, how involved is a record company with choosing the tracks, or do they leave that to the band?
We choose them. Scott and I choose them. Scott and I were working on it the other day.
Yeah.
We were eliminating songs. This song, I like this song. And we, on our own, we came up with almost the exact same list.
It was incredible. We were talking about it. It was early Saturday morning, impromptu call. Usually we all got stuff going on. And it's, hey, and I got this. And he says, well, hey, I was thinking about this. I said, that's incredible. I said, I had every single song in my mind that they were the same. And that happens to us a lot. We talk about things. It's like, oh, wow. We were both, independently thinking about the same thing. And I think
this vinyl release from the record company, it's not going to be on CD. It's not going to be digital released. There's only going to be 200 units ever printed of this because they felt Epic was with a different record label, but it didn't get the airplay we wanted it to get because COVID hit. I mean, we released it and 2 weeks later, the world shuts down, Yeah. But we did well. It did well. It sold well. But for our fans, we feel like one special, and it's special colored vinyl too.
And that's cool too because it makes it a collector's item, and then the people that go and buy it, since it's a limited product, they're going to feel that much more special. Hey, not everybody has this,
200. That's all we're doing. 200, and the band will keep one each, and the rest of them are going to be sold. And we're just waiting for the artwork to come back onto it. And it's going to be really cool artwork. It's going to be a combination of the Great American Rock and Epic album covers. And it's cool that you guys kind of have the same mindset that you almost pick the same set of songs. Now, talk about the ones that got left off. Was that hard? That was. I mean, because I loved every song on both albums. I don't think there was a bad song on there on either album.
Agreed.
That's got to be the hardest thing, the elimination process, because again, very much like a Def Leppard or an Aerosmith album, Held Hostage. Like you said, every song's pretty much a kick-ass song, and so I think that's the hardest thing, even probably in coming up with a set list when you guys play live.
And that's the beauty of it. We can switch it around. We change it around. We want our fans. Our next set list will be different than the last show. Mm-hmm. I mean, we never played the song "Hold On" live. In our last show, we played it live, and the crowd went nuts for it.
Yeah,
we just love that song. We can't believe you guys had. Well, I said we just, it came on the album, but we didn't know how it was going to be received. I love the song. It's one of my favorite songs. We played it live, and the crowd was up front screaming, "Hold on!" This guy going, I guess we picked the right set, right song.
Yeah. Oh, it's cool.
Yeah,
cool.
And Tom, I follow you guys on Facebook and stuff, and I was reading when I contacted you about setting up for today's interview. It's been almost practically a year since the album came out. I mean, I can't believe a year has already gone by, and we're already talking about new music.
Yeah, and the thing of it is it's still selling.
Yeah.
The company is very happy with it. I mean, the album's still selling. I mean, they're sending us royalty checks, so we're pretty happy.
Here's a crazy question with Epic, because like you said, it came out during COVID. Or have you seen the sales pick up at all since, or is it mostly just people loving this now and buying this?
Actually, what we're getting, here's the crazy thing, is Epic is starting to get actual worldwide radio play. And I'm talking about on FM stations. I can give you a perfect example. JROCK's the biggest station in New York, and they just love us. The DJ did. All of a sudden, we're listening. He's playing our whole Epic album on there now.
How
He's
funny is
going back
that?
into
Yeah.
our catalog and going, wow.
Yeah.
And then he sends me an email, says, I just love you guys. He goes, I don't know how I never found you guys before. He said, but I want your next album too.
Yeah.
But and other stations are picking it up. I mean, Castle Black playing us all the time, and it's really great. It's very, very.
I mean, I think, you know, part of it is the music is just so kick-ass and great, and you really deliver the goods on your albums. But I do think having a publicist like Branville, I even look at one of his other clients he's worked with, like Little Caesar. They kind of, you know, came at the tail end of the 80s, and I think they're having more success getting their stuff like you guys play now than they were in the heyday, you know. And I think it's just you need those people, those managers, kind of working behind the scenes, producers, whatever the case may be, even a DJ, like you say, playing your music to give a band an extra push, maybe.
And it helped, like I say, we spent 18 weeks on the Billboard charts. 9 out of 12 songs in Great American Rock charted.
Yeah, I mean, again, yeah. I mean, it's almost like a hard rock thriller, if you know what I mean. I mean, where you could release every single song, you know, that's another fun thing. Like the way things are released, of course, you don't have the budget of a Metallica, but, you know, recently when Metallica released their new album, they did this cool thing, this global premiere the night before that you could go see in a movie theater, where they released a music video for every single track on the album and kind of like show it like in a movie format. And again, you may not have that kind of budget to work with, but I think bands could find new fun ways to premiere their albums, you know, like maybe not necessarily a movie, even online, or have a special online event or something like that where people could check it out, you know, maybe the day before it comes out.
Absolutely. And we've got lots of Scott's great at that stuff. Him and I talk all the time about it. I mean, he's got some really cool ideas. Go ahead, Scott, talk.
Yeah. You know, I mean, and there's a lot of different avenues with social media that we need to capitalize at, you know, on all of those things. We're not of the younger generation, but when you see what's going on out there, there's so many opportunities right now. I mean, what a great time to be, you know,
I mean, I can relate to what you guys are saying because, you know, I'm a guy who's not too tech savvy. I've been doing these interviews for years. And as you know, Tom, until just recently, I was doing the old school way over the phone. And I really wanted to learn how to do these video interviews. I had a friend kind of give me the nudge. And I said, okay, the time is now to kind of educate myself on to do it. It wasn't that as hard as I thought to learn. Had a few little mishaps, but I'm so happy I'm doing it this way now. I mean, like you've done 3 of these interviews with me now, Tom, since we started doing it this way, but each one kind of has a personality of its own. It's a lot more fun. You can see the people you're talking to. And it's still kind of interesting because like I did an interview with Steve Brown, the new drummer in Tesla. And believe it or not, it just blew up. We got like almost 700 views just on that one interview. Some other interviews haven't got that kind of response for whatever reason. And then some of the stuff I do, like these radio show type of shows, audio stuff, get a little bigger numbers. And I don't know why, but you know, we're delivering quality product. I think this is what we're going to kind of move forward this way. You know,
it's great. I love this new format. I mean, I think it's perfect. And I was fighting Zoom myself, you know, and I only, you know, over the pandemic, I had to learn Zoom. You know?
In fact, this guy I've interviewed many times over the years, he plays in a Kiss tribute band, and he told me, you know, why don't we just do like a practice session, and you can see how much fun it is. And then like I said, I educate myself. You know, this is because even when I get done with the interview day with you guys, I'm gonna send it off to the guy that posts the stuff on the site, and within a day or two, it's going to be up. You know, or at least by next week, and it's a lot faster that way, and it's just fun.
Absolutely.
It's just
you got to embrace that technology, you know, or you're going to get left behind.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think Held Hostage is a band that's primed for, you know, social media.
Yeah, definitely we are.
We just had that conversation yesterday.
We're talking about that. We're coming up with new marketing ideas and stuff. You know, like I say, Scott and I both are businessmen, business minded, so we throw things back and forth all the time.
Yeah. And, you know, I know Held Hostage has also done a lot of like charity events, like for veterans, and not to get too political, but I think it's great that when you can use your music as a vehicle to, you know, help raise money for, you know, people in some kind of need, or I mean, it's sad that talk about living in the United States. I heard recently where veterans got kicked out of some hotel so they could let some other people who
Yeah, I
needed a
know
place. And
exactly.
like, how do you? And again, not to get political, but how do you decide? Okay, we're going to throw the veterans out who don't have a place to stay to let these other people come in. You know,
There shouldn't be a decision. There's no decision. The veterans stay.
yeah, that's kind of my feeling. You know, if other people need help, you find them the help, but you don't kick one group of people, especially veterans, people that have, you know,
defended this country and
yeah,
elderly people, all that stuff, you know.
yeah. And so again, I just got to put that out there because I commend you guys for doing what you do. And I also seen Tom, you have a show coming up July 9th with one of my all-time favorite guitar players, Ethan Brosh. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that a little.
Oh yeah, Ethan, he's a great guy. Ethan will be. We actually toured with Ethan at one point. We were opening for Ethan, and then we went on a tour with him. Next time we became popular, Ethan was opening for us. It's just he's a great guy. And at the end of the night, we're doing an all-star jam, and Ethan's going to join Held Hostage.
Yeah.
All the people from Fire Rock Music Group are going to be there. They're flying in, the owners, and it's going to be a great night. But Ethan's a phenomenal player. We toured with him back in 2019. Was it, Scott?
Yeah.
It was 19. Yeah, with Ross.
Ross the Boss, Ethan Broth, and yeah.
Ross the Boss. Yeah, and I don't know if you guys know, speaking of Ross the Boss, legendary musician in his own right, Man of War, The Dictators, and he's also got this, he's a huge baseball fan. I don't know if you're aware of it. He owns his own batting cage thing in New York.
He invited me down there many times. I talk to Ross almost every day. We text each other. In fact, this morning we were texting jokes back and forth, and but great guy.
Yeah, while we're on the subject of Ethan Brosh, you know, he's a super talented guitar player. I mean, he's, as we were talking about me and Scott before you came on the show and everything, and Ethan Brosh, to me, I would not even been aware of him up until a few years ago when his publicist reached out to me to interview him. And he seems like, you know, he would have fit in with those 80s guitar heroes, you know, where every band, 80s band had a guitar hero, you know, Warren DeMartini. What's interesting about Ethan Brosh, he has these great instrumental albums, but I seen where he was playing at one point with Carmine and Vinny Appice with their Drum Wars thing. And so, and he's, I think, also playing with the metal band Fifth Angel as well these days.
He just played Europe with Fifth Angel, I think. I think he was just at the Hammerfest over there, I think it was. Or Keep It True Fest, one of them he played.
And so when you guys, I know it starts off this new album, this new music with you and Scott writing most of the riffs and stuff, but at what point, like, do you get the other guys involved as far as, does everybody kind of record their parts separately in their home studios? Do you have come together?
No, so the way we do it is I usually record everything in my home studio here, take it to everybody, and have them add their own parts into it and give them some ideas of what I want to do structure-wise and stuff. And then we go in the studio and we record live to click tracks.
Yeah, that's old school way. Yeah.
We're in different rooms, so there's no bleed over and stuff like that, but it's really cool. And that's why our albums, I think, get that live feel to it. Everybody laughs. It's like you've got to sit and record individually. We've done that. That's no fun. You lose the power, you lose the enthusiasm. So
that's always been my feeling. I mean, again, I grew up at a, you know, same probably time you guys did, and albums, that's how albums used to be made. And to me, to my ear, I think you can really tell the difference. I mean, yeah, you could put a great sounding album together, you know, with Pro Tools or whatever, but it just doesn't have that same rawness.
No, we love that raw sound. That's part of the Held Hostage thing too. We went in the studio. I said to the guys, "We're going to record our albums live."
Yeah.
You know.
And when we came out doing the Epic album, and then also carried over into Great American Rock, when we left the studio at the end of the day, I mean, I felt, I think Tom did too, we really captured the energy of the band. Yeah. Right then, we knew we had the energy captured, and it's very hard to capture that when everybody's spread all over. I mean, the technology is great, but when you can get together with the guys, I mean, you're together, we're making music. This is the band, you know, and you know, that's what I take away from it. It's just,
and I dig it too. It's the same guys playing in the live band that's playing on the album. You know, you don't have a set of studio guys and a different.
No, all of us play, and the other thing is we play live. We don't use backing tracks, and we know the day Held Hostage uses backing tracks, I'm done. Okay.
Yeah, you know, and Tom, as we sit here doing this, it just popped in my mind. I think Held Hostage really is a great name for this band, because I think literally when people are catching you guys live, you're just that good that they're held hostage to their seat. A lot of concerts you go to, people, this band sucks. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm gonna go get a beer. I'm gonna go get a Coke or whatever. But I think people are so into this band that they're held hostage in their seat until the band comes off stage.
That's yeah, because the name has a double meaning. That's one of the other meanings of the name. The music holds you hostage.
Yeah, and in a good way. And so let me ask you guys, because again, I'm just a guy that listens to music. I'm not a musician or anything. So let's talk about being guitar players. Like, does it really make a big difference, Tom? What, like, if you use a particular guitar for a particular song? And I ask because you got some guys who maybe go and record an album, they'll use one guitar. Does that make a big difference?
In my mind, it does. I love the sound of my 86 Strat or 85 Strat.
Mhm.
So the guitar I play, I have a Jackson B. I own actually Ross's Vulcan Death Machine. I have another American Strat. I have a Les Paul. I play my red Strat just because I don't know, there's something about it. It's got a unique sound. And Ross the boss set that guitar up for me, and he put a special Bartolini pickup that was given to him, made special for him. And he put that in my Strat, and he said, no guitar will ever sound like this. Yeah, and I just love the sound of it. That's just my
words. And I've said that from the minute I heard it. I said, my God, nobody sounds like that. And I don't know how many times you've heard that, Tom. How many times people have said that?
So how about you, Scott, being the rhythm guitar player? Let me ask you that question. Do you have a favorite guitar, or is that a big deal to you when you're recording new songs?
Well, I kind of arrived where I'm at, and I've kind of got the one guitar, and that's the one I use. I've got the Paul Reed Smith, a core model, and I love the sound of it. I like the way it feels for me, and that's where it is. If we were to do something probably that was a totally different arrangement, maybe there might be some, you might want to look at something else, but for what we're doing, for me, this works.
Yeah. And you got a song like Show Me the Way, and there's even an acoustic version of that on here. Would you ever toy around maybe with doing like unplugged versions or acoustic?
We were asked to do that. Yes, we're talking about doing that next year. There's a place that last time we were there was 25,000 people. We're the headliner, and we're talking about going in and doing a half the night acoustic, then the other half a rock set for them.
That would be fun, just to do it, say you did it right, and kind of get it off your bucket list.
And we have done the acoustic set for a benefit.
Yeah, a few years ago we did.
Yeah, a few years ago, we were playing. It was a VFW. They didn't really have a sound system and held hostage. We went in there and did acoustic, and they loved us. We just brought all acoustic guitars. Everybody played and we sang, and it was great.
Yeah. And then the last question, we have some stuff too that could lend to that could easily adjust into an acoustic setting, very easily. That's one of the other great things about the songs that Tom has written, that we could easily do an acoustic version of it, and it would kick ass just like everything else.
Yeah. And last question for you guys before I let you go. So as far as touring goes, you kind of do it the modern way, like kind of weekend warriors, do shows on the weekends, or because I imagine a lot of you guys are kind of working, you got day jobs and stuff.
We are, but we pick and choose the right concerts for us. Like next year, we'll be in California, West Coast. We're going to do a tour out there in January. Actually, we can play every night of the week. We get calls, but I don't want to burn the band out.
I got you.
I'm more focused on writing new music and stuff like that than I'm anything. But I think in 2024, you'll probably see a nice tour from Held Hostage.
And that would make sense because, I mean, by that point, you'll have 3 albums worth of material to pick from, kind of spice up the set list a little.
But I think our new album is going to be the best. But I say it every time when people ask me, how are you going to beat Epic? I said, the next one's going to be better. Great. And now people are saying, how you can beat Great American Rock? I said, watch and see. The best.
Be Held Hostage. That's how, right?
Absolutely.
Well, Scott, I really enjoyed talking to you before we went on today.
Getting
to know you a little.
Likewise.
And Tom, it's great talking to you again. So we're running out of time, so I'm going to have to let you guys go. But this will be going up sometime next week. I'll let you guys know. Feel free to share it. And we're going to have you back when the new stuff comes out, or maybe before that.
And we'll send you a copy of the new record.
I appreciate it. Yeah, just, I got to say, Tom, you're a man of your word. You once sent this, you autographed it. It's so totally cool, and that's why fans love this band, because you guys are just so down to earth. You have a real thing.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you.
You guys take care. It's all about the music.
Bye-bye. You guys rock, man. Take care.
All right.